Hi guys, welcome to Twin Perspective. I'm Joe, and tonight I'm going to be presenting another episode of Albums You Should Own. In this episode, I'm talking about from 1990, Nowhere by Ride. That would be the band Ride with the album Nowhere. And if you are a fan of shoegazing, or if you're deep into the alternative music from the UK, then you know about Ride. If you've tuned into this video, you know about this album. Unless you're trying to get some suggestions from me and my limited taste in music. I love Ride. Ride was a saving grace for me in the 90s, early 90s. They were a band that I thought did it right. I didn't have an issue with shoegazing. I thought shoegazing was good, but I wasn't flocking to buy all the band's albums. Ride was different, in my opinion, though. They don't consider themselves a shoegazing band. They changed their style. This album, in particular, Nowhere, has a lot of hard, heavy stuff on it, but they lightened it up as the years went by. Every album that Ride ever released was in the top 30 in the UK. Too bad America doesn't follow good music like that, because this was a hard find. Another one of those 120 minutes on MTV. Another one of those videos that came on. Taste. The way that the band was singing. The song was interesting, sounded good. Immediately made you want to go out and get the album. The album is pretty rough. The band is, we have Mark Gardner on vocal and guitar. We have Andy Bell on vocal and guitar. We have Laz Colbert. I'm going to say Colbert because I'm French. He plays the drums. And Steve Kirill plays the bass. Now, in past videos, when I mentioned Andy Bell going to Oasis for a little while as their bass player, he wasn't Ride's bass player. He was just second guitar player and second vocalist. Mark Gardner and Andy Bell harmonizing in every song. I love their harmonies. I think they're original. I think that people who do have good taste in music could get put off by their harmonies. They mix their vocals a little louder than most shoegazing bands, so but I'm cool with the harmonies. I like them. I think the songs are unique, and they've had a couple of albums released here in the last few years, and I've liked both of them a lot. And they're still hitting the top 10 in the UK with these newer releases. Strange that our airwaves aren't filled with Ride. But you go ahead and get this album, Nowhere, from 1990. You'll have yourself a damn fine album, necessary for your collection. It starts off with the number one track, Seagull. Loud, obscenely distorted. It's a beautiful thing. You can kind of get lost in that grunge. It's an interesting way to open the album for sure, and you get a taste right away of how hard and heavy they can be. The second track is Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is another one that I think is put together interestingly, but very distorted at times. After these first two tracks, Seagull and Kaleidoscope, my wife at the time, she wasn't a fan. She thought it was too heavy. I'm not sure if she would have, on her own, continued the album. But the third track is called In a Different Place, and that one is structured more like a new wave alternative rock song. It's sparse and kind of a little slower and a little more melodic for those that can't find melody in grunge and loud noise. In a Different Place is a great song. I remember after hearing that one, I thought, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. That one right there is something I can accept from any band and be like, yeah, y'all did a good one. Y'all had a really good one. Let's see what else this band has. And so for track number 4, we have Polar Bear. And Polar Bear has some very good distorted sounds in it, delay effects, a pan from left to right in the audio, and the laws on the drums once again shining. Um, I've heard some music from different shoegazing bands, and I think besides the harmonies that Ride has, I think their drummer stands out. He's a fun one. He makes it interesting, and I can appreciate that. So when you have In a Different Place and then Polar Bear at number 4 right there after it, yeah, this is the part where I'm realizing, okay, this is good stuff. This is not what we opened with, but I saw what they could do. I see what they're doing now. This stuff is great. Number 5, Dreams Burn Down. One of my favorite drum intros of any song. Simple little beat, but carries the tune. And Dreams Burn Down as a song is very interesting because they mix a ton of different guitar sounds in that one. There's some distorted, and there's also some other stuff there emphasizing. And I think Dreams Burn Down is a great example of layering guitar and getting a specific, very different sound. Dreams Burn Down is to be commended. The next song, number 6, is called Decay. That one to me sounds typical shoegazing. It's got kind of like a straight beat through the whole thing, though. But it's fun. The guitars are great. That one right there is kind of like structured kind of like a Smashing Pumpkins thing. But Ride admits that they did like My Bloody Valentine. They saw him in concert and thought it was great, and that had an influence on this album. But also, The House of Love, which is a band most people don't know. They were also influenced by the Stone Roses. And I can tell they were influenced by the Smiths, too. Decay's a great song. The next song, number 7, Paralysed, that sounds like it wants to be metal at first, but then the chords for the verse are just too weird, and then and then you get some points in the middle or toward the end that they really try to pound this 3-chord progression away, and they kind of break it down and bring it back up and break it down and bring it back up, and it's I think it's tastefully done. The drummer is very fun during the end of Paralysed, and at one point they bring in this crowd noise and a piano. And when I first heard it, I thought, yep, these guys listen to the Smiths, because it sounds eerily similar to Last Night I Dreamt That Somebody Loved Me. I think, in all fairness, they were paying homage to the Smiths at that point, at the end of Paralysed. And I enjoy Paralysed because the next track, number 8, is Vapour Trail, and that's my favorite song they've ever done. That one's structured kind of like a pop song, but I think there's just enough interesting stuff going on there to make it, interesting for me as a new wave fan. And the melody is beautiful. Vapour Trail is a great song. I don't see how anybody could listen to that one and not really, really love it. Number 9, after Vapour Trail, number 9 is Taste, and that was the big single that drew me to the album. My brother actually drew him to the album, and then he force-fed it to me, and then I tried to force-feed it to my wife, and she wasn't having it. She actually liked their next major label release more, Going Blank Again. It was more cleanly produced. Uh, I'm good with the noise, especially in this album. It's one of my noise albums that I go to. At number 10, we have Here and Now. Sounds like a train. A different train from Nowhere Fast by the Smiths. A different train than the Dre's train. But Here and Now is a great song. That's a song where, I realize that these guys are a rock band that play alternative songs and not so much shoegazing. And the album ends, number 11, with Nowhere. Now, this is the American release that I first got a hold of. These last three songs, I think, were added. But Nowhere is the name of the album, and Nowhere the song is great. Now, that's some great distorted sounds, and it's actually a really, really, really slow song. But you can enjoy the sounds in that one. A soundscape of distortion. And that's it. The classic from 1990, Nowhere by Ride. Beautiful album. I suggest you have it in your library. You'll find something on there that you like, I'm pretty sure. I think a more recent release also includes 4 tracks, Unfamiliar, Sinning, Beneath, and Today. And those 4 tracks are some of the best songs they've ever done, in my opinion, as well. So if you can get the extended one with those 4 tracks, go ahead and do that. And that's my breakdown of this classic album you must have in your collection. I'm Joe. This has been Twin Perspective. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10 for more videos like this. And I will see you in the trees. Bye.